There you go.
There we go.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Jake, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Let's have a vote.
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Jason Weasey,
Aye.
Scott Forney,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. 5, unfinished business. Item A, discussion of possible approval of resolution 1021-2024, adoption of 2024 comprehensive plan update. We've tabled this the last few meetings, waiting for the new planning and zoning committee to be formed. Unless somebody wants to press forward, my recommendation would be to wait, because it sounds like we're going to take action tonight on taking some steps towards that.
Table it.
Good to me.
Sound good? All right. We'll table that till next month. We'll give them a chance to review. Item B, discussion of possible approval of quote from Zenner for 3-inch meter. I did have a conversation with Marlene Mullins. She's the property owner where the 3-inch meter's at. And come to find out that it is a townhouse. So there's 2 residences at this property. And they do split the sprinklers between them. So getting rid of it and just plumbing into one side wasn't a great plan for them because it would still be a split. Both Steve and I apologize, I don't have Steve's last name, but Marlene and Steve are happy to keep the arrangement if we consider putting a meter in. That they'll have a separate fee monthly in the summertime for water. They will have water usage billed like normal billing would be. And we would just have to replace the meter. James, I know you and I spoke a little bit about possibly taking a look at it when it warms up and seeing if we could do something other than a 3-inch, if we can go to maybe a standard meter.
I'm not sure if we can get all the way down to a 1-inch meter, but we might be able to get down to a 2-inch.
Yep.
Because I know that there is pipes that come up out of that manhole that go to the sprinkler system. And I know that's not a 3-inch. It does get reduced down, but I think it's a 2.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's enough room in there to reduce it down to 1 inch and then back to 2. So we might have to get a 2-inch meter, but I haven't been able to get down in there.
It's okay. And they're okay too. They said not until things warm up when they need their sprinklers, were they worried about it.
Okay.
So we're okay for a while, but they were very open and friendly about it. There was no concerns. So it sounds like we can move forward with that and just keep them in the loop as we make progress.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just leave that on the agenda. We'll probably relabel that as the Mullins meter replacement. We'll just keep that on the agenda, but until we get that resolved. But table for now. Item C, discussion and possible approval of quote to pressure wash water tower exterior.
So there should be 3 quotes, I believe, in your pamphlet.
We got McGuire, USG, and Viking.
Yeah, I talked to Melinda Kurtz from USG and I told her that the other 2 quotes were just for the bottom half of the bowl, but it looks like her quote is actually for the whole tower. So that's why there's such a significant difference in the quote. And yes, as far as if you're looking at just doing the half, so you'd be looking at McGuire or Viking. When I was reading through them, it does look like McGuire's quote, which is cheaper by a little bit, also includes the comb at the bottom, whereas Vikings says to do the column and the comb, it would be extra. Those are just things that I noticed when I was going through them.
Is McGuire the one we had first?
McGuire's, yeah, they're the company who built the tower. Viking is the company that painted the tower a few years ago. The inside of the tower.
And we don't really need to wash the top, do we? It's mostly on the side and bottom where we got
Yeah, that's where the bottom half of that bowl is the part that really needs to be addressed.
So would you recommend McGuire's bid?
I would recommend, out of the three of them, I'd like to recommend McGuire's. Unless you guys are interested in doing the whole thing. It's just hard not having three quotes for that same thing and know where that quote is at.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would recommend McGuire's.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid from McGuire in the amount of $8,820 for the cleaning of the water tower.
I will second that.
Jake, we have a motion and a second to approve the bid from McGuire in the amount of $8,820. Can we have a vote?
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item D, discussion with Alec Berlin regarding water consumption. I don't see him online and he didn't make it. So at this time, I'm going to table that until we hear from him.
We did test his meter in the past.
We
Yeah.
We did. James, you want to talk about that? You had it tested?
Yeah, I took the meter over to the Valley Water Treatment Plant because they have a meter bench, a test meter bench over there. So we ran the water through Alec's meter and then through the test meter. We did a quick 5-gallon test, everything was fine. And we ran the water as if it would be, varying the pressure, varying how much water we're using. And he was counting one side, I was counting the other, and they matched perfectly. And then we ran it for 20 gallons. At the end, I think it was off by, I think it was 600ths of a gallon is all, which is less than an ounce of water. To us, it looked like the meter ran fine. There's no problem with it.
Is that pretty normal? Is that like within tolerance of what they expect for those meters?
Yeah, I mean, it passed according to AWWA standard.
Okay. And we did let Mr. Berlin know that it did test good. And that asked if he still wanted to be here to discuss, and he said yes, but maybe with the weather, something changed.
So he has a new.
Yes.
We're just gonna leave the new meter in there, right? There's no sense in swapping them back around, is there?
Has his bill come down, Jake, since the swap?
Yeah, it is.
I think his bill came down before the swap.
Yeah, I did. I remember that.
Did you see a plumber at his house ever?
I did not, but I
Okay.
did call Weesey, because that's who he said he called. And Kyle from Weesey said that there was a plumber there and he didn't find anything wrong.
Oh, okay.
At least there wasn't anything on the bill that said that he did anything.
Any other comments, thoughts?
I don't know. You know how many toilets he has in that house or?
I don't, but I know there's one upstairs because I talked to him about toilets and he says that nobody ever goes upstairs. He's got kids. And,
Right.
I mean, it's hard to say that he knows nobody goes upstairs.
That's always the one that's leaking.
Yeah. One you don't use.
Very easily could have been a toilet run.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Okay. Anything else, or should we move on?
You can leave it open in case he shows up and
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we'll leave that open until the end of the meeting. 6, new business, streets, committee report, Paul and Jason.
I don't think we have anything.
nothing new to report. Pretty happy they're keeping in front of the snow removal. Been a lot of snow at short amount of time, so.
Streets and Parks report. John, or
Must not have been John.
must not be him.
Kate's the only one I see on that.
Yep.
There's.
Hello,
There it is.
hear me?
Yep.
I did not get a report drawn up this week on the count of the weather at the end of last week. I apologize for that. I'll double it up next month so you guys can see what we did the last 2 months.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, John.
You bet, no problem.
Item C, radar sign report. So we continue to take readings.
I think we take another month, I'd sure love to know if we could tell if any of these were emergency response vehicles setting record speeds.
Yeah.
Make me feel better if we knew that was the case.
Do you think Dan Douglas could help us out with some of the times of day and see if there was emergency calls?
I wonder if we could get a list of his calls and,
Or send him this list. Is there any reason we couldn't just say,
yeah.
here's the ones we're asking about? Would these be?
Has anybody else seen the sign come on if they're on the county road coming from the cemetery? Because Dan thought one time at that point, he says, I thought he made mention that he thought it was reading when before he was at the stop sign on First Street coming in from the cemetery.
Or saying picking up
From the cemetery.
Yeah.
In.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me? I
Yep.
noticed that it does come on. I can't tell if it's really a reading on it. I do notice that when you're driving away from the sign, if you look in your rear view mirror, it will do a false reading every now and then. I don't know if that registers ever. So, I mean, I don't know why it does that either. It's like if you're driving away from the sign, it'll read 55, 60 mile an hour. So I don't know if that does record or not.
And you're not going that speed?
No, you're going, 20 to 25. So I don't know, like there again, I don't know if that actually records that speed. I don't know.
I wonder if we could contact the company and ask them about that, because that seems odd that it would record
I mean,
higher speed.
if you guys are driving away from it sometime, look in your rearview mirror once and see.
Yeah.
Yep. So that may be part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll maybe I can contact them this next week, and maybe it's just a setting or something too. So.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You bet.
anything else on radar sign report?
I'd say we keep collecting data. Make sure we've got this thing working right.
Jake, do you know if we've been sharing that with Sheriff Robinson then?
I believe she has been.
Yeah, I send them every month.
Thanks, Kate.
Mhm.
Okay. Item D, discussion and possible approval of veteran banner project for 2025.
So this is the same project that we've been doing we've done it twice, but technically the last 4 years. I've just been price shopping to make sure that people are getting the best price, because they do just pay us for whatever the banner's worth. It's not like we make anything. So yeah, I was just, I guess, putting that out there to do again, since it has been 2 years, if we want to do it again.
I did recommend that the board approve it if we want to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat deal.
I think a lot of people like it.
Yeah,
That's a good look when you're driving through town.
it is.
And rotating them out's nice because they're always fresh as compared to Fremont when you're driving down their street, and they got a bunch of theirs are all torn up.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'll make a motion to approve veteran banner project for 2025.
I'll second that.
Jake, we have a motion and a second to approve the veteran banner project for 2025. Let's have a vote.
Jeremy Hanson.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Scott McCormick.
I,
Travis Kramer.
Aye. New business B, water sewer, people services report, James.
Let's see, other than the things that we have discussed, the only other thing I had is as soon as the weather gets a little bit better and warms up, I will have a rep from Johnson Services out to look at the manholes that we need to get rehabbed to get a quote on that. I will get this quote into McGuire Iron and I'll let them know tomorrow, so we'll get on the schedule as soon as possible for this.
Anything else for James? Thanks, James. Item B, committee report, Paul and Travis. Paul, you probably have the only thing, I guess we should probably just lead into the JEO so we can go A, B, and C right now.
Yeah, talking to John Hinton from the Fair Board. It sounds like they have interest in upping their water supply at the fairgrounds. They're potentially looking at another building that would have to have fire suppression. And at the point when they did the Ryben building, I think they were maxed out on their flow rating, so he was talking about teeing in. He was wondering what it would take to tee in from the other side of town, maybe come down the hill from the water tower. Which I don't know if that would require another pressure reducing valve. I don't know. What do you think about that? Is there another way to encircle this system?
If you come from 9th Street, down on 9th, there's
Okay.
a 2-inch blow off the hydrant right at the bottom of that cul-de-sac. You could probably run a line from there.
And that would be above the pressure reducing station.
Yep.
So it probably wouldn't take much then to come all the way across the highway and connect back to the new animal hospital in Casey's and give them a completed loop so that if there's repairs ever needed on those, we don't have the problem where we have to shut people down.
I think that would have to be something separate
Yeah,
because to loop the fairgrounds, you're actually you'd have to turn that and go west. Because the end of their water supply is be on the northwest side of the fairgrounds. There's a fire hydrant there, so I would think that you would have to connect the 2 points into there.
mhm.
And then you're gonna have to, somewhere along the line, have a check valve, so you don't have pressure backing up, going back the other way.
Okay. So we've asked JEO if they could give us an engineering estimate. And they were gonna send somebody to the meeting tonight and we told them with the weather, just let's wait. At that point, I hadn't heard from the Fair Board yet. They were possibly gonna come up with their own estimate. After talking with the Fair Board, they'd feel like this might be, to do both projects, might be above what they want to be responsible for engineering. So they said, just go with JEO. JEO said they may have to do some models first before they can give us an engineering estimate. So that's where we're at with them, and we can discuss this at our next meeting, it sounds like. But I think it would be a good idea to find some way to loop that system. So,
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have it looped. There is another solution if they did just want to run like a 2-inch poly line to their new building from 9th Street. That could also be a
no,
less expensive route for them.
I mean, yeah, if that's where we get to, if it's too expensive to try and loop the system for us, then we're probably out of the equation. You know, and they can just run water from there, but I thought it might be a good time for us to try and solve both of our problems.
Yeah.
And see if we could split some costs with them, so. We'll see where that goes. That's all I had on that.
Good. Item D, discussion and possible approval of resolution 217-2025A, amending the employee handbook to adopt an updated water and wastewater commissioner job description. So this would be just to update the handbook and nothing else. We did have this job description on file, but Kate, I believe, found it was not in the handbook.
Yeah, I had found it in the handbook, and so this is just an update of it that I think probably fits. I don't know.
I'll make a motion for resolution 2172025A. Resolution of the Village of Arlington, Nebraska Board of Trustees to amend the employee handbook of the Village of Arlington, Nebraska in order to adopt an updated job description for the water and water waste water commissioner as set forth in chapter 7. Based off of the attached exhibit A.
I'll second.
Jake, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution 217-2025A. Let's move in the comments. Let's have a vote.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Jason Weasey,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hanson,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Resolution 217-2025A has been approved. 6C, police.
See you, Jeremy. Take
Thank you.
care. We didn't have anything new. We just met our last month, so. Haven't heard anything of you?
No, it's been pretty good.
Mentioned they're plenty busy today. I don't see anybody on there from the sheriff's department, do you?
And you covered the committee report already, so. Anything else for police?
We mentioned that mobile home that's parked on Ellsworth. I don't know if they ever been contacted. I mean, I think it's still there since we talked last time.
On Ellsworth or Fourth?
Ellsworth. Yeah, the real tall.
Yeah. There's one that we're plowing around on Fourth Street too, that's been there for a couple months. Be nice to see that one moved. It's in the road. And I know it hasn't moved. Probably 2 months. But yeah, both of those.
Paul, where's that one at?
On Fourth Street, it would be the 400 block of Fourth Street, north of. In between, Elm Street and, the youth ball fields. It's return storage fees for people storing their vehicles on our streets.
Kate, is that something you can reach out or Jake tomorrow to the police and?
Yes, did
Sure.
you guys, what was the address of the second one on Fourth Street? You said it was by where, Paul?
It's in between Elm Street and the Bell Creek ball fields.
Okay. You said it's parked on the street or in their yard?
Yeah, it's parked on the west side of the street. It
Okay.
would be the 400 block of
Okay,
Third Street. I'm sorry.
I'd say Fourth would be.
oh,
Third
Third
Street.
Street, okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, sounds good. I have a couple letters to get out, so I'd just rather do it in one go, so, okay. We'll do that.
Thanks, Kate. Let's go to Parks Committee Report, Jeremy and Travis.
Not a whole lot new. We are exploring options for updates to maybe courts, that are currently down at the Bell Creek Parks. And in the process of that, we talked about maybe strategizing a larger plan, like, more big picture capital improvements for parks. And that way we can lay things out from years, and plan ahead. So that's about it.
The foundation, we had a meeting and we discussed we'd like to donate some money potentially to the courts. And then Nick Schreck said that he would also like to help do whatever he can do to help spur stuff with the
Excellent.
pickleball. He's tired of driving to Omaha to play.
Cool. Great.
So
I think what are some of the things that have been discussed for some of the improvement possibilities?
That's the new hot sport.
Yeah, so a couple things like pickleball, so changing our tennis court, basketball court, and utilizing that more as pickleball courts. We do have a couple different companies I think that we're reaching out to explore that option. We talked about there'd be room for one court in the old batting cage area down there. And then somebody brought up the idea, I don't know who it was, but a suggestion of like netting and more of a golf area to go and hit balls in the netted caged area type of thing, both for then the school golf teams and then for the public. So those are the two that probably were the easiest that we're looking at now. And that's where then we want to develop something that we can say, okay, this is how we might reutilize things, or we might change this and utilize this space better. And yeah.
And then John had said we need to look at that shelter too, last meeting.
That's right.
Don't forget.
No,
Said it was leaning.
Down by the tennis courts.
And then we were also gonna explore lighting possibilities too. We're putting in the courts, then what would it cost to be able to have some sort of lighting so they can get utilized longer?
Did we have a volleyball league there this last year or not?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Cause they asked for another court.
Did they?
Yeah.
We just don't have plans yet for what that would look like.
It's too bad we can't utilize one court for both purposes. Just, there's no way. They want sand volleyball, obviously,
Right.
and you can't play pickleball on that kind of court.
It doesn't work very well.
That'd be tough. Okay. My good stuff. That's exciting. Library report, monthly library report. Pete, if you want to speak, you attended the meeting. That's okay. I was also there. We went and visited with the library and discussed security for a big one. Is that now that we have EECS on board for our internet security, they're reviewing computers, looking at equipment, making sure we have all the right virus protection, firewalls and things in place to protect all of our public facing computers, since we do have several there that the community can use. And that we want to make sure everybody's safe and that there's nothing downloaded that would be harmful to the library. I think that was the only other comment they had was that humidity seems to be really dry in the library this time of year. And it's something they may want to look at for budget season next year. I think that's the only other comment that would be. And then Kate was updating their report to include their private funds. So they asked for a little more information about how much money they have in their private funds versus our budgeted funds. And so each month they can plan accordingly, making sure that they can spend what they have and not spend what they don't have. But they were doing a good job with it. They were definitely all over it. And I think they've got a good committee. So any other questions about the library? If not, let's move on to E, cemetery.
We're ready to go to D, See the discussion approval cameras for the auditorium.
I'm sorry, thank you. Discussion and possible approval of quote for cameras at the auditorium.
So the two quotes that are in there are updated from our budget or when we were budgeting last year. So those are good. The other quote I had was from Beyond Communications, I think is what they're called. And they have the cameras in our office, but I cannot get a hold of that guy at all to get an updated quote. So I just have the two. I don't know of any other places that do this. If you guys have any ideas, I will happily get a third quote, but that's just what I was able to come up with.
We got 21.99.95.
And the 20.
John, do you have any thoughts on the cameras? Or the estimates?
No, not really. I really didn't look it over too terribly hard.
Okay.
I believe there was, how many cameras were there? I guess I got it pulled up right here. I could look. Were they both the same? I'm assuming they're the same amount.
Yeah, so it was, I think both quotes were for an 8. I don't have the quotes in front of me, so tell me if I'm wrong, but I think both quotes were for an 8-channel
So it's,
system. And then I think maybe one guy quoted us for 3 cameras, but that third one was like a wider lens or something so they could zoom in on the park. The other guy quoted me for 4 cameras, but basically it's priced per camera. So you can kind of, do what you want, but I think they're both 8-channel systems, so they have room to grow.
so this is for one camera. Is that what you're saying? The audio video one? I don't.
No, I don't know. I don't
Looks
have
like
There-
it's 1, 2, 4, 3.
1, 2.
I think that one's 4, isn't it?
I see 4.
I see looking at park entryway.
Front door entryway,
Oh.
northwest
There are 4, correct.
park. One's looking at the pool.
And the other one is,
Watchdog looks like
It looks like
2, right?
3.
Oh, yep. 2 of the same kind. Is that what
But
you're saying?
but they're turret cameras, maybe they
2.8.
have wider range. Is that what Kate was talking about?
like they're substantially more.
Right, yeah, one of those cameras does have a wider range, and he was saying that how you could position it to then zoom in on the park, but it'll still like cover the area outside of it. So you wouldn't need like a 4th camera, was my understanding.
Entryway, front door, northeast corner. I guess either one would be fine. I would rather have the 4 cameras than just the 2, with the capability of adding 2 more cameras if we needed to. That would be my opinion, but because it looks like the cameras are $200. Are these okay? Either one, but the 4 cameras might be more beneficial for us.
249 for 2 of them, right? Or no, per 249 per on the watch.
Per
349. Yeah.
Watchdog ones look like 4K and the other ones, I don't know what those are.
8
Is that the
megapixel versus
difference?
4 megapixel.
Mhm.
Not knowing the specs on them, but I think that's a
Yeah.
little higher resolution, but am I seeing this right? There's only 3 cameras on this bid?
The watchdogs, I've only
Yeah.
seen 3.
Yeah.
2 here and then
2
1
there
there.
and then 1 below, yeah. And the other one has 4.
And so if that price was good, it'd be to get 4 to 4 and be 20, almost 2,400 there and 2,100 here. 2,200. Analytics. Hey, do you know by chance, were any of these requiring a subscription for us to maintain the data? Are we
That
gonna get
wasn't
hit?
mentioned in any of our discussions or in the quoting. Nobody said anything about that. I didn't think to ask that.
I know some of these tools are cloud-based, and so then all of a sudden you get hit with
I guess I
number.
don't know. I didn't know that was a thing,
Well,
so.
the one says 2 terabyte hard drive.
it does. So
And then the other one is We don't know.
Kate, are you gonna be able to see these on our current system, the way that it's set up?
Oh, the top one.
Or is this just there in case?
I don't know. I don't know how that stuff is set up. I have no
Okay.
idea. That's not a question I can answer. I don't know how this stuff gets set up.
I'd be willing to have a phone call with them. If
I
you
was
guys
gonna
want
say, yeah.
more information.
Yeah,
I'd like to table it and then
I
find
don't
out.
think we're gonna be putting them up in the next month.
Here, or
Yeah.
it's just there in case something happens.
I'm willing to do that. Is there any questions specifically that we want to get answered? Or do we want
So there
to?
was something mentioned of that we'd be able to zoom in on the park better. Whichever one would allow us to do that, obviously would be to our advantage, right?
Zoom into park? Can we do that?
And if we're apples to apples, if we're 4K with a higher resolution with Watchdog, are
Right.
those the same that we're getting from the other one?
Okay. 4K, 8K. I can do that.
Okay.
Okay. And if you think of something else, just give me a shout. I'll make a list and
What turret camera? Wouldn't that make it sound like it's a turret?
let's try to,
Right?
yeah. You
I think they both have that in their description.
Yeah, they both say the turret.
Yep.
Compliant for park. Is watchdogs. Do you see that down there below? It says NDA compliant for park. I don't know what that means.
2.8 millimeter to 12 millimeter lens. So that's that big zoom. Yeah, and I can definitely go back if we think that's kind of what we want. I can give each a chance to update their
Quotes.
quotes to the same equipment. Okay,
Great.
all right. That was D. C. Now cemetery committee reports, Scott and Jeremy.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much,
right.
pretty quiet luckily this time of year, but nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Anything else from anybody? No. All right. Let's move on to F, administrative. Washington County Building Permit Report.
I did not get one this month. I don't think there were any permits for Arlington.
Item B, clerk report. Kate.
Let's see. So we onboarded with EEX. I muted. Oh, no. Yeah, we onboarded with EEX and that's been going really well. We kind of lucked out just that they got in when they did. We were having major issues with our server, and just getting files and things with Simple City to load correctly. I guess the server had never been rebooted. So that was kind of the main thing that needed to happen, and they were a little nervous about it, but they got it done. It took a couple days. If you guys have any issues with your laptop or anything, let us know. We can get a hold of them, but I believe we got everything worked out. We ran into a couple issues with a couple laptops, but I think it's all fixed now. So EEX, and then I had a conversation with Joanna at our new law firm that we signed up with. She was talking about like open comment section on the agenda, and basically how we do it now with anything that's on the agenda can be discussed. Like that's fine and that's good. A lot of towns do have an open comment section. There's not a ton of like guidelines as to like how long you have to like give people to talk and that sort of thing. It's just that the public has to be allowed to talk in some degree. So whether we just leave our policy as what's on the agenda, or we add an open comment section where someone could come forward, speak for 3 minutes, and then, that's it. You guys could just hear them out and not take any action or anything. That's kind of up to us. And anyway, she just brought it up as a good point. So I wanted to just bring it up with you guys so that you could think about it if you wanted to change how we do our public comments. Let me see. see, I don't have the report in front of me. I don't know if there's any other questions about anything.
Matson's coming back to run the pool.
What was that? Sorry.
Matson's coming back to run the pool.
Yes, she is. And we've got 8 lifeguards hired so far. I think she was thinking maybe having 10 total lifeguards, so we might get a couple more. But otherwise, that's all going good. What else?
Kate, I was having issues with my computer and I think Scott was too. It's
Okay.
asking for a product key for our Microsoft stuff.
Okay.
So if you could send that to me
Yeah.
if you have it.
Yeah, I'll reach out to the guy with EEX that's been helping with this onboarding stuff because I don't know about that. So I'll find out.
Thank you.
Kate, regarding the open comment section, if we
Yeah.
were going to do that, what would be the next steps? Would we need to?
I guess probably I would probably want to look at a couple towns open comment policies as far as like how many minutes they give each person. I think Fremont's is maybe like 3 minutes or something. And and if they do it every time or if it's before the meeting or how they do it, I just want to look at some other policies first. And then if you guys came to a decision of wanting to pursue that, then we could draw up, I'm guessing, just a resolution to pass policy.
Okay.
And we do have an audit scheduled for tomorrow, is that correct?
Yes, the audit is tomorrow. Sharon will be here in the morning. It shouldn't take too long, just like half a day. She does most of the stuff like just on the computer anyway, so.
Everything's good there still.
Nothing, I haven't heard. Kate, nothing new on our accounting side. I know that we had that Rick's office had somebody helping, another CPA helping.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know any more than that. I haven't heard anything else outside of, I think, what I'd heard last month, so.
Okay, but they're keeping up, no problems, no concerns?
Yeah, no, everything's good, so,
Okay.
as they have been.
Okay. And Kate, let's jump right into item C, discussion and possible approval of lease agreement with Arlington Volunteer Fire Department. You
Yeah.
want to give us an update on that?
Yeah, sure. So I actually got the draft from Joanna this afternoon at like 3 or so. There's just a little bit more editing that needs done. So next meeting, that should be fully done, that we can have that discussion with Dan.
And we did tell Dan that there would not be a contract tonight, so we said if he didn't want to come, we understood. But they're very interested, no changes there. Kate, any concerns with the rentals? I think that was one of the subjects that came up last time, is existing rentals, making sure everybody's event was covered. Are we still good there?
Yeah, still working on seeing who will, if anyone will switch over to the auditorium. We haven't been booking the community room going forward, so just trying to see, I guess, how early we can actually have the fire hall take over the community room. Still working on that, but
Okay.
should have numbers. I mean, we'll have a date or something by next month for sure.
Okay. And I think part of the agreement also included the fire department taking over the utilities for the community room area.
Right.
If we can, for the most part, do we have that kind of figured out?
Yeah. I tried to figure it out as best I could. I called Black Hills and OPPD and figured out where the meters are and which accounts maybe cover which areas of the building. I think I've kind of got it figured out. It'll probably be a discussion we need to have with Dan just to narrow down the details, but it's mostly figured out.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions or anything else we'd like to discuss or plan for or ask about before next meeting? We're good. Okay. Kate, thank you.
Mhm.
Item D, discussion of possible approval of resolution 217-2025B, authorizing the appointment of the Economic Development Committee. Kate, you had an update on this too.
Yes, so Joanna had emailed me this afternoon and she thought that this, like appointment of a committee should be passed by ordinance and put into our municipal code, rather than resolution. I think you can do it by resolution, but she thought an ordinance would be better. So I guess it'd be my, recommendation to wait till next month and we can do it properly with an ordinance.
Which that also means we would not be electing anyone to the committee tonight either.
Correct.
Okay. Comments, thoughts?
I think it'll be a good idea, but yeah, might as well wait for your ordinance number and approve next month for Nick and
Yep, yep. Okay. And let's see. Okay, well, wait, well, let's get to actually, I'm gonna jump to item F since it ties to item D. And then we will wait to possibly appoint Nick Schreck to the committee. And Kate, you said you have others that are also interested now?
I do. I reached out to one individual and he was interested and then he listed a couple other people. So we definitely should have a full committee hopefully by the time we get the ordinance adopted.
Excellent.
Did you reach out to Trevor at all?
Sure could.
Did you reach out to Trevor Ganuzzi at all, Kate, or?
I did not. I can.
I would.
Okay.
Thank you.
So those will be tabled till next month with an ordinance. Jumping back to item E, discussion and possible approval of resolution 217-2025C, appointment of village departments and department commissioners. My mistake, that was actually not what I thought it was. This is also table 2 then, isn't it, Kate?
Yeah, that's that was there to, put a couple, we talked about appointing board members to this committee to kind of help tie the or I guess be the liaison between the board and the committee with recommendations. And so I had that ordinance or that resolution there to update to add economic development committee members. So that can be tabled as well.
Is there anyone here that'd be interested in being a part of the committee?
What's this table? Let me think about it, but I might.
I'll do it.
Kate, if you couldn't hear it, Jeremy and Jason both said they'd be interested, but we've got a month to figure it out.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
if for some reason anybody else wants to shuffle
Committees?
their respective committees, we could do that at that time as well.
It's a good time to do it. Okay. Item G, discussion and possible approval of appointing Tim Kelp to the Planning Commission. So with the role descriptions that we've looked at and the discussions we've had, Tim Kelp has an interest in being a part of it. He's received the role description, understands the responsibilities, and said he'd be very interested in doing it. Good news is kind of a bridge from the existing to the new. At the time, we did not accept Mike Dwyer's resignation. I did speak with him and said we had a couple new candidates to come on the committee, and he'd be willing for a few months to help that start so that we'd have a quorum. So we would have an official committee to at least handle anything that comes up, maybe learn about the process for both Tim and Rachel Rosenthal if they're nominated. And it would at least give us a quorum to get that committee back up and rolling.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointing of Tim Cow to the planning commission.
Second.
Jake, we have a motion and a second to approve Tim Kalp to the planning commission. Let's have a vote.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hanson,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. H, discussion and possible approval of appointing Rachel Rosenthal to the planning commission. Same thing. She had an interest and said she had for a while.
I'll make a motion to accept Rachel Rosenthal to the planning commission.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Rachel Rosenthal, a member of the planning commission. Let's have a vote.
Jeremy Hanson,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. So Steve Slikis, Rachel, Tim, and Mike would be four, so they have a quorum.
Okay.
And we do have a couple others that we have not heard back from, at least one other. And I don't want to say a name until we have a chance to visit, but if there's anybody else that's interested, this is great. It's great to see people stepping up and filling these positions and helping us out. So this is awesome. Item I, personal matters. Personnel matters. I was like, personal matters. Personnel matters. There we go. That makes more sense. This item is about, it'd be contract and, potential hiring. So it would be wages, which would be executive session if we were to discuss, that matter on water and sewer.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second.
Jake, we have a motion and a second to go into executive session for personnel matters regarding water and sewer. Do we have a vote?
Jason Weasey.
Yes.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hanson,
Yes.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.